Hello, this is Shane McCabe down here at Nissan at Cookville, giving you a quick walk around video on this 21 Nissan Rogue SV we have for sale. Something that's really nice about these 21s is if you're not wanting to have that 3-cylinder with the turbo that all the new ones come with, but you still want that newer body style, this was the last year that you could get that. So it's really, really cool. Being that you still do retain that 4-cylinder without the turbo, but still do get that newer body style, which I get a lot of really great reviews on this body style. People really love how they changed it. So best of both worlds there. Start this off, you can see you do get the mud flaps there, and then a really nice tread on these all-season tires here. They're Goodyears, and you can see the face on that tire. Really good shape there, no curb rash or anything of that nature. Looking it over, it does need to get a bath. It seems to rain dirt here and in Cookville, Tennessee, but otherwise, really good shape. I don't see any scratches, dents, dings, anything like that over here on this side. Same thing with this tire, really good shape and quality. And nice face on that tire there. Before I move to the front, I want to show you this here. There's a camera right here. This one is equipped with the around view monitor system, which I'll show you once we go inside. It's a full 360 camera. And then looking at it over here on the front, you can see it has this really, really premium and cool look to the front of it. Just really looks aggressive with all these nice sharp angles and cuts on this vehicle. And then you get the really, really nice LED headlights on this as well. They are super bright at night. And then when you do look at this at night as well, it just gives a really cool look to the car as well, having those white lights up here. Then up here on the Nissan badge, there's a camera right there that goes in conjunction with that full around view monitor. There is also a camera right above my finger there in that little triangle that's there. Now that camera isn't something you go back and watch video on. That is used for gauging data on the road out in front of you for things like pedestrian detection, forward collision assistance, intelligent cruise control, things of that nature. And I'll show you that a little bit more once we hop inside the car. But on the front of it here, I don't see anything to really point out on there. No scratches, dents, dings, rock chips, and things of that nature. I do see one little bit here, which actually, through being cleaned up, that might be able to come right off from there. Otherwise, here's these tires, good tread on that, nice face on that tire. And then coming around to this side, you also do have that camera there on the side. And I don't see anything that stands out as far as scratches, dents, dings on this side here either. Good tread on this tire with a nice face there. And then coming over to the back, let me open this up here. So before I hop into back and show here, you have some little circles that go around the back. These are sensors. If you get too close to something, they'll start beeping, and then if you get way too close, it'll fully automatically brake the vehicle so you don't get into a collision in the back. Really good size here. Pretty much fit everything and then some through here, and if you did need more room, you can pull that up, put that down, and these go completely flat, so it makes it a lot easier to put anything in this vehicle. This also does have the floor mats for on top of the back cargo area and the back of those seats, so you don't muck up the seats, and you have the little bit of protection through there. And then underneath here, you do have your first aid kit, spare tire, front license plate, everything like that. Something that's really nice about that is a lot of manufacturers nowadays are doing inflate kits, which is a great idea unless you get a full blowout. I, myself personally, would rather have a spare tire, which this one has, so that's nice. Here's your backup camera on the back. And then you do have keyless entry on each one of these doors too. That's these little buttons that are right here on the door handles. So if the car was locked and you hit that button with the key on you, it'll then unlock it and vice versa. And then this one here, it's kind of rare to find, but it does have a light interior. And living down here in Tennessee, comes in very handy when it gets super, super hot like days like today. It won't get quite as hot inside of the vehicle. And I also find that a lighter interior really gives you a more open feeling inside of the vehicle too. It makes it feel a little bit bigger. Over here, you can see, continues that kind of look and style to it here, and you got your power window. These seats will tell you a lot about the prior owner, and especially with them being a light interior, tells you a lot about the prior owner. And I could tell you this prior owner either had nobody who sat in these back seats, or they took great care of their car, because usually you see a ton of stains on seats like these, and I don't see any so far. You do have 2 fast chargers there to charge your phone, and then you do have your ability to adjust for airflow there as well. And this is also a certified pre-owned vehicle, so you do get a couple additional benefits. Those are these here. You get the 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty on the powertrain that is backdated to the original service date, or 100,000 on the dash. You do have 24-hour roadside assistance, trip interruption benefits, towing assistance, rental car coverage, the whole nine. So if you don't even want to mess with having to replace a tire if you needed to, just call the roadside assistance and they'll do it for you. Here on, kind of hard to see, there's a little triangle right there. That's going to be a blind spot monitor that's on both of your mirrors. So if somebody's in the blind spot on either side, that'll light up orange. And then if that is lit up orange and then you try to use your turn signal to get over, it's going to beep at you in case you don't see that for some reason. Here you have power locks, windows, mirrors, full power adjustable seat here as well. One thing that I hear from a lot of customers, or I guess skepticism I hear at first, is, hey, are those gravity seats a real thing? Or is it just some jazz that they say on the TV? And it is very true. They are crazy comfortable. I actually just rented one of these Rogues and drove about 13 hours away, and then 13 hours back, and it was the most comfortable drive I've ever had, and I'll explain to you a little bit why more when I get in here, but a big portion of it was the seats. I didn't feel like I had to get over and hop off the highway and stretch to kind of get the little bit of like pain in my back out. Never had that, which was really, really nice. So we only stopped for gas for the most part, which made a 13-hour drive feel like it went by a little bit faster at least. Let me hop in here and turn this on. While it's turning on, I'll also show you on the key here, the top button with that little circle is your remote start. So this does have remote start. All you got to do is hit lock twice, hold the top button down about 5 seconds. It'll then do that remote start for you. So over here, you have this little button right here. This is going to be for your assisted driving features or hands assistance there. So what that does is it works in conjunction with your cruise control. So if we turn on the cruise, it's kind of a, there we go. So you hit this little blue button first for ProPilot Assist. That turns on your cruise in here. Then there's these little dash lines here, which we can set by hitting this little button here. Those will change 1, 2, 3. I found with going on this trip I went on recently, 1 was by far the best feature to have it set to. And what it does is it'll pace a distance for you in the car that's in front of you. So it'll keep you distanced. And then this ProPilot Assist, if you have that hands assistance feature on, as long as your hands are on the wheel, it'll keep you centered in the middle of the lane and not allow you to drift outside of the lanes. That helped me out tremendously with driving home on that drive, just because I really had to just focus on the cars that were out in front of me and traffic cutting in front. Otherwise, the car did a lot of the driving on its own, which was really, really cool. You do have manual shifting modes here with the minus and the plus button over here. And this one is going to be to switch through different screens on this vehicle to give you different bits of information. So you can scan volume up and down, of course. Here you have dual climate control where you can set it to whatever temperature on either side with an auto feature. So if you set it to 63, it'll just keep me set to an ambient 63. On this screen here, this is where your backup camera will show up, which will also show you that around view monitor, the full 360 camera, and then your backup camera there as well. This comes in handy for if you are parking in tight spaces. It really lets you know your distance all the way through. And then I'm going to segue right from this into the gear shift. So with the gear shift, at first it seems like, what the heck is that? It's a lot going on there. But I have found out over the time of using it, once I got used to it, it is such a nice quality of life feature. So to put this in reverse, there's a little lockout button here on the inside. Push it forward, that goes to reverse. Drive is straight back, and then park is pressing that little button in there. The reason that this is nice is when you have a standard gear shift that you pull backwards, you don't have to pay attention to know if you're getting into drive or not. Here you just pull it back, you know you're in drive, so you don't have to worry about how many clicks backwards. So again, it's just a nice quality of life thing once you get used to it. I do know the time leading up to getting used to it, it takes a little bit, but once you do, this is such a nice feature to have, not having to look down at your gear shift or over here to see what gear you're in and just know it's all positional, which is really, really cool. And then from there, we have a couple different drive modes with this button here. It's going to switch between sport, standard, and eco. Just going to change how it drives, fuel efficiency-wise, and things of that nature. Electronic parking brake here and an auto hold feature. This is going to automatically hold your brake so you can take your foot off the brake while you're in drive to rest your foot, kind of take a little bit of weight off your heels some when you're in a really tight traffic position. And then as soon as you take your foot, put it back on the brake or the gas, it'll then release it from there. This is a cool little split design here. splits it open. This does two things that are really nice. So one, just to show you, tons of room inside of there, but the really nice bit is when you drive, you typically have an arm on your middle console there. So if somebody in this seat needs to get in here, they don't have to ask you to move your arm. They just open this, and this side will open, and they can get in there and get what they need. Another thing is if you've ever had issues with your shoulders, like rotator cuff surgery and things like that, this position of moving it this way is really, really difficult. That range of motion's gone in the shoulders, so you kind of have to turn your whole body. So if you're trying to get in here while you're driving, it's not ideal by any means, but doing this, it's so ergonomic. You don't have to use that range of motion in your joints to be able to get in here. So Nissan has thought about everything and then some, which is absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to round this off by finishing on this seat here. I finally found one stain on it. It's a really small one, and I bet you if the sun wasn't shining, you probably wouldn't see it. But I did have to find one, and there I did. So any other questions that you do have on this vehicle, I know this is a little bit quicker of a video, but if you want me to go a little bit more in depth on anything, just please feel free to let me know, and I'd be happy to answer that either over a phone call, text, email, or I could just come out here and make another video to show you what those questions are, the answers to them. So anything else that you need, just feel free to let me know. Thank you.